dynamics, right? Mamas and daddies do deal with bills. They do deal with financial hardships at times. They do deal with, oh man, our child has grown 3 inches and now none of their clothes fit. And we weren't necessarily prepared to go buy a whole new wardrobe today. They're not going to sit the child down though as they're walking in and say, hey, before we go in, I just want you to know how much this is financially ruining us. They don't do that. They're not going to do that. They're not going to say that. We try to preserve certain things for those who need to know.
that we were going through that were difficult, and we did kind of hold those things back from our kids. Things that we were facing, even as a preacher and preacher's wife, in congregations, that we didn't want our kids to see those things in the Lord's church. We wanted them to have a good view of the Lord's church, a good view of the Lord's, kingdom in that way, and did not want them to be exposed because they weren't really ready to deal with all the emotional stress and baggage that we were having to deal with.
Right.
They just weren't, they were still adolescent. So their minds weren't ready for those kind of things. And I think that part of the things that, just talking about keeping things back, especially from children, here's part of I'm going to go off on a soapbox for a second, but part of the problem that we're facing, I think, in our country and really across the world right now with our young people and what they are going through, the anxieties that they have and all that, is because they've been exposed to way too much, way too young.
Yeah.
And so then they are confused about a number of things, a myriad of things, in fact, and they begin to struggle with that. So as parents, we have to be wise in what we share with our young people, with our children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that you're bringing that up, and I think it makes sense, but I can see it on a larger scale that we're facing today.
I've had conversations with my parents as I've gotten older, and they've been upfront with me about sometimes in life, yeah, that was a hard time for us. This had happened. We had this medical bill. We had this and that. And I said, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wise decision to make. And my son right now struggles because he wants to feel included. He wants to be involved. And I was the same way when he was growing up. Sinful. And there are certain areas where privacy is required and necessary. Could you imagine what it would be like to walk in on Sunday mornings and pronounce to the congregation or announce to the congregation how much was in your bank account that morning? If that was a required portion of the service, let's say, okay, now it's the Rogers' turn to get up there and tell us what you've got. And, oh, they've done well this month. Or it's now Michael's turn to get up. Michael, make to the congregation or announce.
So
Some
both
bad
Mike
decisions,
boys
dude.
do that, which is good. I think.
If that was a required portion of the service, let's say, okay, now it's the Rogers' turn to get up there and tell us what you've got.
But that's
And, oh, they've
recorded.
done well this month. Or it's now
I guess
Michael's turn to
maybe
get
we
up.
could worry about that tomorrow. Like I'll check it when I get home.
we would be appalled
Right.
to even suggest. Could you imagine just suggesting that to people? Let's try that this Sunday. People would be amazed. Take it even a step further and a little bit more logically on the level. What if what was contributed on Sundays was broadcasted to people? Oh, wow, this person who has this much money, they gave $100. That's it. They didn't give more than that. Or this person who has hardly any money, they gave $200. Wow. There's privacy, and there's some things that we have an innate understanding. It's usually not good to talk about money like that. Now, you have some people you may be close enough to say candidly, yeah, we made a mistake, we bought this, and we shouldn't have. But you certainly don't want to go up to every single person you meet from the day forward and say, by the way, I make poor financial decisions. I'm the worst person you will ever meet. That doesn't make me a liar either, though. And I hope that people can understand what we mean when we say balance this the proper way.
Yeah.
Put it in the proper context and in the proper mode. And this is where, you don't have to tell everything to tell the truth. Say what you have to say, and
Oh, I lost that guy.
move on.
Right.
But some really try to justify lying. They love to justify it. There's that old, it's just a white lie, it's just a half truth, but we know that a half truth is a whole lie, and a white lie is not any different than a lie. And I don't even understand what is the color about anyway. Do we have different colors for different? A red lie? What are we doing? We're just trying to find ways to justify something that is sinful. So what would you do if someone tries to justify lying, and specifically in matters of,
And why is it not
let's
coming
say,
through
the old example that's often used, right? You're in Nazi Germany. I'm so sorry that we're doing this to you, but you're in Nazi Germany. You have any Jews in the attic? You have any Jews in the house? And you do. What do you do?
Yeah.
It's working.
Let's lead up to that. To answer that. That's tough.